Greetings and welcome to the Grandmaster Chess Academy. I was playing a game earlier and I was wondering to myself just how strong this game was, how correctly was it played. Because it seems like some of these games on lead chess in the 2-minute plus 1 second room are rather accurately played for quite a few moves. So I wanted to share this game and took it through computer analysis so I get an idea of what we're really looking at here. Alright, let's get started. E4, best by test, Bobby Fischer. C5, we have a Sicilian defense. Knight F3, Knight C6, Knight C3. This is all standard opening Sicilian defense. This is the old Sicilian right here. Sicilian defense, old Sicilian. And here we're in the old Sicilian. But as you can see at this point, this is all standard opening. You got Kasparov and Kramnik back in 1999. Again, those two in 1999. I guess this was the championship. We have Ivan Chuk and Razubov in 2008 and 2009. We have Kramnik and Razubov. So this is a standard opening line. Nothing terribly deep here. And then black makes the fourth move. Again, standard. As you can see, same people talking. And knight to F6. Alright. And then knight takes C6. And with that move, I took us out of the supreme level of chess. Because they always want to keep the pieces on the board. But for me, it's about creating the best opportunities out of a position. Not so much about dancing pieces around the board, hoping that your opponent doesn't find the correct square somewhere along the way. Fighting chess. So B takes C6. And as you can see, Alex Linderman, Andreas Kofidas, and Wilczek. There are some stronger players that have still been found in these positions up to move 6. And then we get to move 7. Except for Alex Linderman, it's mostly IM level players, one GM level player. But this position easily transposes into that which is considered normal lines. And we find that we have Kasparov and Svidler have found this line in 2015. And Kasparov and Ponomaryov in 2016 found this very line. So we're still in book. Going all the way back to Kalmov and Razuvayev in 72. And Setherman in 2014. Alright. And as you can see by these evaluations up here, this is all opening standard. But from here on, it's evaluated through the Stockfish 9P and ACL. And these are depths of 27 or greater. And as you can see, we're going to stay really close within each other. With this move, I knock us out of the Grandmaster world again. And we're just dealing with the IM world mostly. Except for the Nijat Mamedov game of 2010. Reasonable standard move. And then finally with this move, I knock us all the way out of the opening books, and we are in a brand new position, at least as far as lead chess databases are concerned. Alright, let's continue this game and see where we go. Our opponent played queen to A5. I responded bishop to d2. Why? Because this right here is not only putting the pin on this, which is x-raying my king, but it's attacking this bishop. So from this move alone, I could see that my opponent was paying attention. It was not just throwing pieces around the board, but was looking for ideas. So I come back and offer up the very same x-ray that was just offered to me. And of course, no dice. Here I castle. My opponent plays a5. Now, you can see the evaluation jumps up 0.2 to 0.3, but we're still basically even here. And with my answer to the a5, we go to a 0 evaluation. It's a straight up even chess. Two players playing at about the same level or finding equalish answers. Bishop to d7 from black. Queen to f3 was the move that I chose. Now the computers like the idea of queen to e2 more, with black castling, rook on f to e1 and e5. A rather closed position. Bishops aren't really talking yet. Things are clearly equal. You can see a 0.1 evaluation is what is afforded to this. Alright, so I say queen to f3. Our opponent said rook to b8. Rook on a to b1 to match the force, attacking this pawn that was loose. c5. Here the computer was not very happy with black's choice. Perhaps more activity in the center, but probably just castling and creating security. So I said rook on f to e1, which took half of that valuation off. My opponent said, well, the computer said b3 was the correct move, with a possible line, not unlike what's already been shown. On b to d1, rook on f to d8. And again, this d file is important and well held, as that's where the action is going to happen. That's where things are going to open up. So D and E are going to be important files. But I said rook on f to e1. Here my opponent said bishop to c6. The valuation is a 0.7. So not exactly making precise moves, but hey, it's x-raying my queen. And I understand that. Now, what the computer had called for was c4, push my bishop. And you'll better understand why as the game continues, that it's good for my bishop to be moved. And with continuation of the castling, queen to g3, x-ray to king, b3, cb3, cb3. Again, an equalish position, with slightly different questions being asked, since the center is now half open, or partially half open. But the C file is clear now. So we definitely have activity going on here. Things have opened up. My opponent had said bishop to c6, to what I responded queen to e3. Now, again, we have, from the computer's perspective, b3 was the better move, but essentially giving you all the same ideas, with the new idea of the h6 and the bishop to b5, creating trades if possible, but of course they don't have to happen. My king is over here, and this long diagonal is best for the dark square, for the bishop. The light square bishop in the black position. Alright, so queen to e3 was the move I made, because I just wanted to get out of the x-ray. Who wants to be pinned? Terrible place to be. Especially when pawns start rolling on you. Alright, so my opponent said d5. These are pretty standard moves right here. E d5, knight d5, knight d5, bishop d5. And here, I say c4, push the bishop back. Now this is what the bishop wanted to do. What black's position wanted to do to me and my bishop was push it back. But I get to make the first push on the bishop, on pushing the bishops away. And so my evaluation is moved up to 0.7. Is this a one game? No. It's just a little better for the white position. By no means winning, let alone won. Just a little better. Alright, here, my opponent says bishop c6. And now the computer's a little unhappy. It gives a 1.3 rating. And again, this is I believe, a depth of 34 right here. So it's pretty deep. And it's not happy with this idea. It preferred bishop to a8. And these are the ideas that the computer had. Although I wasn't overly keen on it. It still pretty much comes back to what the computer had in mind, but to me it just seems unnecessary to tear up the position in this way. Not very human to look at, for sure. I've played such games, figuring I could outplay my opponent, but if I know I'm playing somebody strong, I would not allow my pawns to be turned into 5 islands like this. What does Nigel Short say? The Minister of Tourism is very happy with all these islands, but the Minister of Continental Affairs is having difficulty maintaining defense for all of these islands. So, these are the ideas that were still recommended by the computer in such a position. And with all of this, the position's still about 1.2, 1.3 in favor of white. Nothing major going on. Alright, so bishop c6. And then I went to bishop to c3. That's my move. And here my opponent decides to castle. Questionable. Bishop's aimed at your position. Queen ready to slide over. A rook could even perhaps lift up and carry over. But none of that's going to happen in one move. So it's safe enough for now. However, the computer said instead of castling, how about rook to d8? They're going to be to d1. Again, we see this d file. We taking on an important role. Bishop to c2. Now castle. As you can see, it's only a 1.1 valuation at this point. Queen g3, x-rated king. Mating threat. That eliminates that. And then just a simple trade. And control of that d file. This is an evaluation of 0.9. White doing a little better. But that's all. Alright, so my opponent castled, and I stepped up to harass the queen. Always seems like a nice thing to do. And here we have bishop to d6. Now, I had my spidey sense tingling that there was something in this, but as you can see, I've only got 36.8 seconds on my clock. So I took a quick glance and didn't have enough time to go through all the evaluations. This could be why people say bullet and blitz chess is no good, but only if you don't take the time to find out what's really going on. The more you learn about a position, the more you learn. And in bullet and blitz chess games, you will find that it's the same 64 squares, the same 32 pieces, and the same opening ideas in play will be found, with the same lack of precision and mistakes along the way, as a 2-hour game played by super grandmasters. But I didn't find it. And so this awesome advantage that should have been afforded to the white position via these kind of moves quite nice. As you can see, you're up to 2 pawns, and the black position is pretty much hopeless and lost. Once you go over 2.1, you know it's pretty much one game, except for rare occasions where a fortress can be built. But that was from the bishop d6 position. Time being short at 36.8 seconds. I didn't find that. Or maybe I had 48.5 seconds and my opponent had 36.8 seconds. But even still, 48.5 seconds is not a lot of time. So I stepped over. And as you can see, I gave away all that advantage. It's gone. The 2 pawns that were available no longer available. So my opponent accepts the bailout. But I was thinking there was more in this position. That's why I took with my rook, which the computer said was the correct way to take. Because as you can see, we are now at a critical part of the game. And here, my opponent went very wrong and bought into my idea. Looking to save this pawn, enjoying this X-ray, and again, with this D file being so important and ready for the rooks to come flying in, my opponent chose bishop to A4. That D file. D1 under control. My bishop cannot come back. So when the pressure starts mounting, it will be felt. However, this is inaccurate. The correct move was queen to E7. And play could continue in this fashion. With 0.3 equal position, no one really has anything to be proud of in their ideas. But in this position, with my taking a rook to E5 and bishop to A4, we come to today's tactical shot. Now, when you find the answer, you will also need to find black's next 2 answers and white's next 2 answers. Again, white to move. Study. Yes, chess, love. GM Chess Academy. Likes and subscriptions appreciated. And also, when you share, this is good and helps to grow chess. Be wellness. Yes, chess, love.